Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Elise. If you're new here, I make videos on sustainable fashion and slow living. So lately I've been discussing the quality of clothing, why it's not as great, what most clothing is made out of nowadays, and that is synthetic materials. I actually have a video related to this one about how to spot and find quality clothing and quality materials. I'll leave that linked up above and you should watch that video after you finish watching this one. This one is not so much about how to find that quality clothing since I've already made that video, but just giving you my recommendations because there's been a lot of discourse about you could pay a higher price tag, but that doesn't mean the quality is better. It just means like you're probably paying for the branding and the name of the clothing rather than the clothes itself. I just wanted to give you a very quick rundown about kind of where I buy my clothes and how I get them for either a good deal or it's good quality, so it's going to be long lasting and I'm not having to buy time and time again and then end up spending more money repurchasing the thing than if I just spent good money outright. So first and foremost, I want to start with tops and kind of like basic base layers. So to me, that means like t-shirts and tank tops. I have two options for this. The first one is more affordable on like the price scale, and that is Uniqlo. I absolutely adore their t-shirts, their baby tees, their like soft smoothing t-shirts. Those are like kind of like a dupe for Skims. They last me a long time. Like the neckband has really good recovery, the elastic in it, and that's something I look for in a t-shirt. I don't want something that's going to lose its shape after just a few washes or a few wears, or it's going to start falling apart, or it's going to pill really bad. I have never had an issue with any of my Uniqlo t-shirts with that. I think the only thing that I could really say is the black t-shirt that I got from my roommate is like washing like off a little bit. The dye just isn't as pigmented, but that's totally understandable because it's been from one person to another and it's still a black t-shirt. It just is like a tiny bit faded than if I were to buy it completely brand new. But that is honestly nothing that is going to stop me from wearing it. They do offer obviously more than just t-shirts at Uniqlo, but I just know through and through that I can count on them for their t-shirts. I'm not saying like the entire brand is like the best thing that you could buy, but it is something that I have found holds up against the test of time and wear. They're also rated It's a Start on the app, Good On You, and I also recommend that you go there as a really good resource in terms of sustainability to see if a company or a brand that you're planning to buy from is sustainable in the first place. They rank based on environmental, labor, and animal welfare, so they give you like a 3-pillar rating. On the website linked down below, they also have an app that's really convenient so you can just search on the go. I also really love Eileen Fisher for tanks and tops. They do a great job of using cotton, renewable materials, recycled materials, and also just having really good quality. I have this one t-shirt that I'm thinking of. It's like a boxier fit and it hasn't lost its shape. It feels still super soft but also strong at the same time. It has really great recovery. I just love the way it fits on. It just looks quality when I have it on. So I'd also recommend them. They're very well known in the sustainability sphere. They are a bit on the pricier end, but I do still really stand by the quality of it. So if you're looking to get maybe like a nicer t-shirt to wear to the office or something and you don't want it just to be a regular schmegular t-shirt, I would check out Eileen Fisher. Moving on into fashion tops. Now these are definitely a bit trendier, and I won't sit here and say that fashion tops are going to be A, the most sustainable because it's probably trendy, but B, the highest quality because it relies on a trend ending and then you buying into a new trend. So fashion tops typically aren't that well made, and I just want to say, like, be aware of that when you're going into it. Don't expect a fashion top to last the test of time. But I will say there are some options. First and foremost being vintage. Vintage shops probably are the best bet for fashion. If you're looking like Y2K, 90s, early 2000s, those fashion tops, I mean, it's still probably made from synthetic fibers, and obviously be on the lookout for that. But they were made in a time when micro trends weren't the norm, and this top was meant to last you at least an entire season. So they're made with a bit more integrity, a bit better construction, sewing, stitching, and the materials I won't sit here and say are the best of the best, But I do think vintage is a really good place to start when you're looking for fashion tops, because fashion is cyclical. What goes around comes around. If you buy a top that was trendy at one point in time, it will most likely become trendy again at another point in time. So vintage shops, Depop sellers that sell vintage, Goodwill if you really have the time to spare. That's the thing about like shopping secondhand though. I recognize that time is also a luxury, and the system that we're in keeps us from enjoying our time outside of work. That's definitely one of the downfalls, but I think places like Depop and eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Vinted, like the list goes on, like those can help you like shop secondhand and not spend so much time like in the Goodwill bins. Two other suggestions on the higher end of the scale are COS. I have one shirt from them that's not really a fashion top, but I do really love it. And then also Reformation. Reformation is definitely way more on the fashion side. COS is maybe like in between basics and fashion, so that is also a really good place to shop for staples. I know they use natural materials, and that's always a good start. And then also from what I've seen and touched and like felt in stores is the construction is really well done. It's not cheapened out. It's like double layers of stitching and threads aren't loose. It just looks really nice, and like it holds its shape, holds its structure. It's probably like the number one thing when you're looking at quality besides the materials is, does this thing hold its shape? Does it have hanger appeal? By hanger appeal, I mean, is it's on the hanger. Does it look like what it's supposed to look like on your body? It's another little insider tip you just got. Okay, we did t-shirts and we did fashion tops, and lastly, I want to talk about button downs just because those kind of are a staple, but they also are in and out of fashion all the time. I would go to Goodwill for those. There is no shortage of them in the men's section. You can find whatever size translates to your size from the men's and wear it for you, or if you are a man, then there's definitely options for you there. And then also like in women's wear. I'm going to segue into pants now as well. I highly recommend Goodwill for trousers. Any kind of trousers or structured pant that you need, I can guarantee you Goodwill has it. Goodwill, beyond being a thrift store, also helps educate and place people into jobs. So of course they're going to have work wardrobe wear. Is that a thing? Work wardrobe wear? Workwear options available in their stores, because it's beyond just thrift, but also trying to place people with like gainful employment. And typically things that end up at the Goodwill, unless it's fast fashion, we're kind of seeing like a flood of fast fashion into Goodwill, but you can, weed that out just by looking at it most of the time or looking at the label. But things that have ended up there have been of good quality to someone for years and years, and maybe it just has like a slight stain that you can bleach out or wash out, or something that just needs like mending or hemming. Options are endless if you know how to care and repair for your clothing. Moving on, I want to cover jeans. Now, the two brands that I live and die by are Levi's and Madewell. They're both doing better in terms of water wastage when they are producing their jeans, which is something I'm obviously very here for. But on top of that, I have found the quality of these jeans has lasted me through weight loss, weight gain. Like the stitching hasn't popped out just because I've put on a couple of pounds. The pockets still look good. The wash still looks like how it was when I first bought it. I'm very impressed with the quality of these jeans and at the price point that they're at. Madewell does have like a take back program. You can take them, I think, any pair, any brand of jeans, and you get $20 off. So maybe that can help you if you're saving up for a nice new pair of jeans. Let's not forget, Levi's have been hugely popular for years and years and years. So they're kind of easy to find on these secondhand sites. Like all you have to do is type in Levi's, your size, and you can look through all sorts of different cuts, all sorts of different washes, whether you want shorts or jorts or real jeans or capris. Like you can find practically anything secondhand when it comes to Levi's. So that's why I recommend them, A, for the quality, but B, they're ubiquitous on these secondhand reseller sites. If you spare 30 minutes of your time, you can find a really, really good pair that is going to last you for a really long time and that you can hang on to for years to come. For outerwear, I think vintage is the best way to go. I've gotten some of my best coats, A, from vintage, or B, from a neighbor that was vintage, and they passed it off to me. I think vintage outerwear might be like a little bit more pricey, but at the same time, it's just gonna hold up. Winters nowadays are not nearly as cold or as long as they used to be, which is alarming for obvious reasons. But at the same time, you can use that to your advantage and shop vintage and get like a really nice, warm, structured coat that's going to last you for a really long time versus something cheap, something fast fashion that you might have for the single winter and then give it up. Patagonia also comes to mind and everything that they're doing for the environment and how they're donating proceeds. I would give them a look too. I know they are definitely on the pricier end, so it's also worth shopping secondhand as well. Any brand that I have mentioned by name, that is a power tool to then plug into a secondhand search. So don't forget that. Like, do not think that I'm saying and naming a brand and that's the brand that you have to go seek out and shop from their website. Go look for it secondhand first. Like, always in your life, if there's nothing you take from today's video, shop secondhand first. Like, rewire your brain to think that way, because honestly, it's going to save you a lot of money, but you're also going to be not contributing to the consumption crisis, the climate crisis, the waste crisis, the fast fashion crisis. Like, everything is a crisis in the point in time, unfortunately. For shoes specifically, now, I'm not naming a brand because I think shoes, it really depends on your lifestyle and how you're wearing them, how often you're wearing a pair of shoes, if you're able to rotate them in and out. But I always go to Poshmark for shoes. If there's a brand that I have in mind, I go there first and look for that brand, because 9 times out of 10 someone is like reselling them, or they've like worn them once or twice and just don't really want to wear them anymore. I've gotten, I think, 3 pairs of shoes where I searched for the name brand and found the exact shoe for a discount, and that was either new and never worn or worn like a handful of times, if that, and I got it for a pretty good deal. Poshmark is definitely where I go for shoes specifically. It has a ton of other things as well, but I don't know, I always just have like the best luck searching for women's shoes on that site. And a bonus, if you are looking for small leather goods, whether that's a purse or a wallet or a backpack, I recommend the RealReal and ThredUp. ThredUp is definitely more of like a discounted kind of realtor, like secondhand realtor, though RealReal focuses way more on luxury. But I just really think you can't go wrong buying from one of those 2 sites, just because they are authenticated luxury, like authenticated bags, and they are pretty good quality. I've had this one Coach bag. It came to me a little open and broken, but it hasn't deteriorated past that point since when I've received it. And then also my little black shoulder bag that I've had from the RealReal, same thing. It came a little broken, but it hasn't deteriorated past that. And I think that goes to show that these websites aren't just trying to sell you someone else's trash. They really are trying to rehome fashion and small leather goods and just like divert things from landfill. That's like the number one takeaway. I totally understand shopping for quality fashion is not as easy as it used to be, and that's by design. And it feels like it takes so much extra energy and time and money just to find good quality clothing pieces nowadays. But I'm telling you, watch that other video. Once you know what to look for, it becomes a lot easier. And then once you find brands that align with your vision of quality, you're not going to want to go shop anywhere else, and you're going to become like loyal to these brands because they are delivering good quality to you. I know a lot of times cost is a barrier to entry when it comes to sustainability, and especially when talking about quality clothing pieces, and it really doesn't have to be that way. I think secondhand, of course, is a really great way to enter the fashion sphere kind of on a discount, but at the same time, if you're shopping online, it's really hard to know if the piece is quality, and if you're shopping at Goodwill or vintage shops, it takes so much time to really weed through everything that's in there, and I totally understand that. That's also why I'm making this video, to help you say, hey, these are the things that I shop for, these are the brands that I shop from, maybe you can find them secondhand, or keep an eye out when you're at Goodwill or the thrift store or a vintage shop next time you're out searching for stuff. This is just meant to be like a small guide. It's not meant to be a fully comprehensive, this is every quality clothing brand in the world. I'm not expecting it to be, but if anything, this should be like a jumping off point of examples from the first video I made about how to find quality clothing. And now I'm giving you legitimate real world examples of said clothing, and then hopefully this helps you find it secondhand on your own without having to spend, firstly, hundreds of dollars, secondly, hours and hours on end just searching and thrifting and sifting through things. I'm here to like help as many people as possible shop secondhand first and not run to Amazon or Shein or Temu, literally any other fast fashion website when they have some sort of inspiration. I really want people to shop from your closet first. The most sustainable thing is what you already own. Mend it, repair it, then shop secondhand, and never have to shop from the primary retail economy ever again. That's the goal. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I love you millions. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like this video if you want to see more videos about fashion, quality, how to find it, that sort of stuff. I do have an entire playlist that you guys can watch all about like conscious clothing. I really think you'd enjoy that. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe so you can see next week's upload. Until then, don't forget to be kind to yourself, others, and the planet. Bye.